Dramatic new video has emerged of the moment a Delta Airlines flight crash landed at an airport in Canada. The plane can be seen tilting to its side during the landing before bursting into flames and skidding into an upside down position with its wings lopped off.
As we made our descent and made touchdown, it was just a very forceful event where all of a sudden everything just kind of went sideways. And then next thing I know is kind of a blink and I'm upside down, still strapped in. But everyone seemed like they were there to make sure we helped each other and moved out of harm's way.
Authorities say 19 people have been discharged from hospital. 2 are still undergoing treatment for non-life-threatening injuries. Let's get some more on this. And aviation expert Dr. Steve Lieb joins us now. Thanks for joining us. Now, this new video, what can we learn about what happened to cause this crash from looking at the video?
Look, from the video, I mean, definitely we can see some significant weather conditions that could have played into it, although the investigation will take them everywhere. They'll look at standard operating procedures, they'll look at ATC radio calls, they'll look at absolutely everything.
So the tarmac was icy with fresh snow having fallen, but the passengers say the landing itself was really rough and heavy, and it felt really heavy landing. Is that the same as sliding on an icy tarmac?
That is definitely a possibility. I think one of the biggest ways weather can impact flight operations is because it occludes the horizon and the view of the runway as a landing is being queued up. So I think it's possible that we have a situation in which the landing might have been harder or rougher because of what's on the actual runway, but also because it makes it harder to actually identify a landing point and things like that.
Is it unusual for a plane to flip like this?
The final configuration of this aircraft, I think, is pretty unusual. It's for an aircraft to roll and then land on its back is something that I can't remember in recent decades in accident scenarios. So it's a bit of an odd situation.
Watching passengers film, well, actually, some passengers were filming as they got out. That's one point to make. But watching their disbelief at the state of the plane that they just came from, how would you describe that?
Look, I think if you look at the passenger videos, I guess the first thing I want to point out is just the shock. This all happened so quickly for this group of people, right at touchdown. And one moment they're sitting there, reaching for their mobile phones, getting ready to text people and things like that on landing. And the next second they're, on the aircraft's on its back, hanging, and they're hanging from seatbelts. So I think that the sheer speed at which this incident played out was really startling to the passengers.
Dr. Lieb, this is the 4th major crash in North America alone in the past month. Is that cause for alarm?
I mean, it certainly seems like there's been an uptick in major airline commercial aviation incidents. I think it's too early to see any type of predictive trend or anything like that. I do want to point out that the number of departures is ever increasing, and as that happens, the accident rates in aviation, despite being insanely low, will lead us to believe that we would see more incidents just by the sheer volume of flights. So I think definitely some research will be looking into the accident rates and whether or not there's been a statistical change.
From what we've learned from passengers' accounts, what can be attributed to saving their lives?
Look, I think in terms of an evacuation, I really think this is quite a success story. The crew from the videos appeared to do an outstanding job of helping keep people calm and also making sure that they expedited the evacuation. Passengers were assisting other passengers. I mean, the fact that there were no fatalities really shows, outstanding actions by the crew, outstanding design by the aircraft to be able to withstand this type of situation, and being able to keep your seatbelt fastened and make sure that if your seatbelt hadn't fastened in an incident like this, you would have fallen to the ceiling of the aircraft. So just a variety of factors really came together to make this such a survivable accident.
What will investigators be looking at now?
First thing they'll do is retrieve the black boxes. They will definitely review ATC radio communications. They'll be reviewing standard operating procedures for the aircraft. They'll be interviewing all the passengers as well as anyone who may have obtained inadvertent footage. They'll do a big data gathering exercise right now.
All right, Dr. Steve Lieb, aviation expert, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
The Trump administration and
Thank you very much, Steve. We're all clear. Have a great day, mate.
Hey, thank
following
you.
their
You too.
first round of peace talks regarding the conflict in Ukraine.